Looks like we are live. Hello and welcome, everyone. Tonight, we are playing Gauntlet Comics Escape from Dino Island, Lake of the Lost, Part 2 of 2. So this is the second part of a two-part series. These sessions are telling the story of a group of brave and hardy individuals who are making their way into and off of the eponymous Dino Island. We are setting this story in the Gauntlet Comics continuity, on which more in a moment. But firstly, I, your host, am also your Dino Master, and my name is Alexi. I'm happy to be running this game. We are running the game Escape from Dino Island, a cool little powered by the apocalypse game based on media like Jurassic Park and Lost. It's available on itch.io. Definitely check it out and throw some money towards the creators of this game because it is a cool one. This game was organized through the Gauntlet gaming community. If you want to find out about the awesome role-playing games going up each and every month through the Gauntlet, check out gauntlet-rpg.com or follow the Gauntlet on Twitter at GauntletRPG. There's all kinds of stuff to find out about our online gaming program, our podcasts, everything else that the Gauntlet is doing. And I guess one of those cool things about the Gauntlet is Gauntlet Comics, which is a shared comic book continuity that many Gauntlet games are set in. So a bunch of different GMs, including Rich Rogers, who's here with us as a player this evening, have run games set in the Gauntlet Comics continuity, creating a whole universe set in and around New Gauntlet City, with series is conceived of as different types of comic book lines. We've had our gritty '90s Vertigo line. We've had our lines that are more all ages adventure, set in different ages and eras of New Gauntlet City. And this game is taking inspiration from the dinosaur islands so often found in comic books, right? From the Savage Land or from I think it's just called Dinosaur Island in DC Comics. We're taking inspiration from places like that. We are charting the adventures of a group of people who have found themselves here on this island inhabited by prehistoric beasts. So the hope is that some of the the continuity nods of Gauntlet Comics serve as little fun Easter eggs for those who are interested in them and are not a big barrier to entry. I'll throw in a little editor's note if need be to be like Optimax Industries is a prominent, albeit shady, industrial organization in New Gauntlet City, right? Things like that. If they come up, I can provide a tag, or players, if you introduce things connected to Gauntlet Comics continuity, you can give us a little tag like that. But all that said, let's meet our players. Folks, I'll have you introduce just yourselves first. Tell us your name, your pronouns if you wish, and your online handle if you so desire. So we'll go across our character keeper, just meeting our players, and then we'll come back and meet the characters. So John, tell us about yourself.
Hey everyone, I'm John. I use he, him pronouns, and you can find me online on Twitter at JohnGrimm.
Fantastic. Good to have you here. Rich, you're up next.
Hey, I'm Rich. I love being part of the Gauntlet Comics. I'm excited to be able to play. I do the Plus One Forward podcast, which is all about PBTA stuff.
Yeah, and I heard a lot about Escape from Dino Island on that podcast. So go back and check out that episode, folks. It's a really good one. Great to have you here, Rich. Sam, you're up next. Tell us about yourself.
Sure. My name is Sam Zimmerman. I use he and him pronouns. You can find me and the various things that I work on at Typhos Games on most of the social medias.
Very good, very good. Good to be playing with you. And last but not least, we've got Chris. Please tell us about yourself, Chris.
Hey, everybody. I'm Chris. I go by he, him pronouns. And I don't really do a whole lot online, but I do occasionally talk about nerdy comic book stuff and nerdy game stuff. You can follow me on Twitter at Hinarvan. That's INARVAN.
Good to have you here, Chris. All right. So having met our lovely players, let's meet our awesome characters. I have popped up my screen here, sharing it so we can see the art that's been pulled for our cast. John, go ahead, tell us about your doctor, and if you don't mind, also letting us know kind of what situation he was in when we wrapped up the first issue of this two-parter.
Yeah, so I'm playing Kal Sharma, he, him, and he does work for Optimax. He is the Doctor Playbook, though really a sort of like medical, biological, in the pharmaceutical area, doing work. And most of the first issue was him being very fascinated by this island. And then I think towards the end, we did see him do an impromptu removal of a bullet from a wound of a shady character, a mysterious figure that we rescued from the jungle.
Yeah, this guy in a bloodstained white lab coat came stumbling into encounter our main characters and claimed he'd been attacked by a stegosaurus, but when Kal operated on him, you found a bullet. Yeah, very interested to see where all that goes. Good to have Kal here. Rich, will you tell us next about your kid?
That's right. As you said, I'm playing the kid, Cori Taurus, who is a little bit on the fearful side, but he turns out that he has a crucial skill of dino taming. Who even knew that all of those Time Life books paid off? He's here with his Swiss Army knife, a candy bar, a can of soda, and a can-do attitude. And yeah, he mostly just huddled near adults. He seems to really look up to Alya. So
yeah,
that's going to pay off.
We'll meet her next. Gauntlet Comics readers with long memories will remember when Cori Taurus was a young student at Hedgewick Academy, the secret magical school in New Gauntlet City. But it sounds like he's been kicked out since then and no longer has easy access to his magical abilities. We think, at least. Sam, tell us about your soldier.
Yeah, so today I'll be playing as Alya, who uses she and her pronouns. She is kind of a hired muscle, kind of a mercenary type figure. She was hired by I forget the company, the Optimax Industries, to kind of protect this expedition at all costs. And Optimax, being the powerful and very wealthy company that it was, seriously underprepared her for everything and did not fund her nearly enough. And so I'm out in this dinosaur-infested island with basically a handgun and a combat knife. So yeah, I'm real thrilled with my employer right now. But also, yeah. So I think the big relationship going on right now is that I'm protecting Kal, and I promised Cori's parents that I would get him home safe.
Yeah, and keep him from messing with the dinos.
Oh, yeah, that's not working out so well.
Wonderful. Great to have Alya here, part of the mix. Last but not least, Chris, please tell us about your survivor.
See, I'm playing Freya Forrester. She goes by she, her, and she crash landed on this island along with her sister. They were known as the Flying Foresters, and they were a adventuring duo in the old tradition of like the young adventurers comic books. They flew a plane around the world and got involved in all sorts of things. A little bit too close to this weird time lost island and crashed here, and her sister did not survive, but Freya did, and she has been surviving on her own on this island for what feels like years. But because we established last time that there are time dilation effects on this island, it could be much longer or much less than that. So when we left last time, Freya had just gotten everybody to her hideout, her hovel on the island, which was built into a large tree, and they had just, Freya's picket perimeter after rescuing that, completely unsuspicious, bloody lab-coated scientist with the bullet wound.
Yeah. We'd rescued that guy, brought him back to the hovel. Speaking of the hovel, we now have a working Dino Island map, and I can go ahead and explain the symbols I've dropped on it. So down here, this little shipwreck symbol on the sort of southern coast there represents where you all initially got onto the island. We've established that your ship was damaged to some degree, and the other people on the ship formed a camp, and you got separated from them and weren't able to rejoin them. So there were other people present as part of this Optimax research mission, but three of you plus the survivor you met along the way are now on your own. Last time we saw you at the Triceratops pens, where Cori made a friend and then allowed that young Triceratops to return to its family rather than keep it as a pet. And eventually you made your way to Freya's hovel. I've marked that with the little sort of house with a flag symbol representing the hovel. And from the hovel, which is up in the trees, you're able to see out across the dense jungle. And a couple important places that you spotted included the monorail that is still functioning to some extent, the radio tower, which you believe might be your best ticket out of here. If you could get to the radio tower to figure out what's blocking your own radio signals, and use the tower to radio for help. And I believe that Kal spotted the top of this giant mushroom poking out from behind a mountain. Freya had heard stories of giant mushrooms on this island, but wasn't sure they really existed. But Kal definitely spotted one from the hovel. So those are some of the key landmarks that were visible. And then, as narrated, the hovel became the site of an impromptu surgery. So I think where our issue picks up today is soon after that event, right? Soon after the newcomer arrived and was operated on successfully by Kal. It sounded like night has fallen, right? Based on the way that we were describing the day spinning out. The sun sunk slowly, way more slowly than you might have expected, but now it has set, and so night has fallen. Your guest is recovering from the surgery. I want to check in with each of you and get a sense of what you are doing. Are you taking the chance to rest, or otherwise kind of recuperating from your adventure so far? Kal, let me check with you first. What do we see on panel?
So when we went to operate on this gentleman, you may recall Kal had some pain pills that we crushed up to give to this person. So I'm picturing he is still somewhat under the influence from that, and I think he's been the wound has been cleaned and set, and he's lying in another room. And I think Kal has pulled Alya aside, and he comes close to her and holds his hand out, and you see the bullet in his hand. He says, "That man was not attacked by a stegosaurus. Do you think
No.
this is another expedition? Someone that might be trouble?"
I pick up the bullet. I feel like if we're working for this Optimax Industries, they probably have their own brand name, like weaponry or something that they buy a specific brand or something. Do I recognize anything about this bullet that would kind of let me know?
Oh, fascinating. You want to know if there's anything that jumps out at you checking out this bullet. This is not exactly one of the basic moves. I think this might fall outside of those unless there's something you're looking at. Do you have a playbook move or an idea here?
No, I don't think this is necessarily a playbook move. Besides, maybe like I could like instruct Kal on how to identify different features of the bullet. That might be interesting.
Let's.
But I don't know.
Yeah, let's save that. I think when like someone else to do a task, right? Like you're the examples it gives are perhaps you're communicating with walkie-talkies or on opposite sides of a fence, or you're injured, right? So like when you're talking someone through a task you could do but they usually couldn't.
Yeah,
I'll go ahead and say it does not look like a Optimax Industries bullet. It like looks like plenty well crafted as a bullet, but doesn't look like ones you'd recognize from Optimax weaponry.
Yeah, so I think I like pull out my handgun and like click open the magazine and pop a bullet out and just hold the two up, and you can very clearly see that like they're just the tip is a completely different shape or something.
Yeah,
and so it's built for a completely different style of weaponry. It's like, this isn't one of our guys. So unless Optimax decided that they were going to give everybody except me better guns than me, which I'm going to be real annoyed at them if they did that. I think there's somebody else here.
Perhaps some competitor they've sent this. You've seen what's on this island. There's countless scientific advances that we can make from studying the plants and animals and things here. This area is just a patent gold mine waiting to happen. I think we need to be cautious with who this is. This is your area of expertise. We need to protect Optimax's futures in this at all costs.
And Alya kind of gives you a weird look that you don't fully kind of get, and say, I guess we do. And she puts the bullet back in the mag, clicks it back into the gun, holds it in her hand for a little longer than is fully expected, and then puts it away and goes off to probably quote unquote keep watch.
I love it. We turn the page from that. Freya, how are you resting or recuperating?
Let's see, probably she's probably basically, because she actually has people here, like she's found her like her hammock in one of the corners, and just basically just sacks out, like just sleeping like relatively soundly for probably the first time in a long time, because usually she's having to sleep with one eye open because she's the only person to keep watch.
But now there's someone else to keep watch. Absolutely. So kind of sleeping better than she has in a long time, it sounds like.
Almost certainly.
Does she snore? Are we getting like big, triple Z sound effects filling up the panel?
I was thinking about that. She's been on her own for a long time, but I think it alternates. Like, she doesn't snore all the time, but if she kind of hits that one sleeping position in the hammock, like, then it really hits. So like it'll be like perfectly normal sleep for a while, and then she'll like turn just right, and then it'll be like, someone had like, had started sawing.
Excellent.
So there's just no way to predict it. So it's worse than just straight snoring, because at least that you could sort of get used to. This is like go silent, starts, go silent, and like at various intervals throughout the night, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Cori, when we last saw you, you were the one who noticed the like big spider web outside the treehouse and the little droplets of water caught on the silk and how they were like rippling as if something big was slowly getting closer and closer. Um, do you do anything about that, or do you try to grab some shut eye yourself?
I think what I do is probably go and hunker down near Freya. Hey, Freya. Freya, are
One
you
of those
asleep?
big
Freya?
snores, comes up
Hey, Freya,
here,
are you
right?
asleep?
No, then
Shake her shoulder. Are you
she
asleep?
snaps like
Hey,
she like
Freya?
snaps awake, like almost falls out of the hammock when you like nudge her shoulder. Like she almost basically flips the hammock over in this sort of ridiculously flailing comic thing. What? Who? What? What?
Oh, you're asleep. Sorry. Hey, listen, there's something right outside. It was shaking everything, and Cal and Alya aren't around, so, and also this is your place, you probably know.
All right. What? Show me what you saw.
Okay.
And she follows you over to wherever you lead her.
Yes, I'll lead her over and see the spider webs, and it was shaking, and there was something really big.
When was the last time you saw them shake? How long ago was it?
Oh, it was just before I came over to wake you up. Are these spiders here? Are they magical? I heard they were magic and giant. Magical.
Well, I mean, they're pretty big, but like, there's nothing magical about them that I've seen. They're about this. They build webs. I mean, there's some big bugs on here too. I think there's something there's something weird with the air, to where it makes these bugs something that can actually work. But they're the bigger ones can be like from front leg tip to back leg. Giant, but really big for a freaking spider, which can be unsettling the first time you see them. They are really pretty though. They have some bright colors to blend in with some of this colorful foliage that you see up there. So if you're looking up, like, it's really hard to see them, which is good for them, because they usually perch above their webs waiting for something to get into it. But okay, so Freya starts watching. And sort of trying to space it out as to like when the ripples are coming, like if it's something getting closer, or if it's like some sort of interval that's doesn't seem biological. Maybe it's just like some sort of earth tremor or something. She'll watch for it and see what she can tell.
Okay. I wonder if the two of you are trying to get the lay of the land.
I think we probably are.
Cori, you haven't had the chance to tell a story yet. Do you want to be the one to tell a story and roll plus clever? We'll say this represents, the two of you working together, but you can hear a story from Cori potentially.
Yeah, I think as we're looking at the wobbling of the webs and everything, he would say, in school they taught us all about spiders, and I had a friend who like, we were really close friends. We were like best friends, basically, like the best of best friends. Totally, without a doubt, Noah was like my best bud, and he taught me how to, like, you can like, they have multifaceted eyes, but he taught me this really cool thing of like how you can sneak around spiders. I never really understood at the time because they were all small, but it might pay off this time. Maybe.
It could. I've read somewhere where most spiders are much more sensitive to motion than they are to actual visual cues. So it's motion that draws them as opposed to something like bright colors or whatever it might be. So that's probably something that could help.
Awesome. And I have failed my roll plus clever.
Oh, have you now?
Yes, I've rolled a 5.
All right. For Lay of the Land, on a miss, you discover an imminent peril. So I'm going to go ahead and say that
it's right there. It's right there. Come on.
There's like as you're like taking a close look, right? It's clear from the droplets that something big is getting closer, and there's even like a moment where you look out over the forest and like a plume of fire shoots up from the jungle, but that's only semi-imminent. The really imminent peril is like, I think, startled by something. A bunch of these, not huge but big spiders are suddenly like descending down, right? Like they're parachuting in or zip lining in on their webs, right? Like from all over the treetops, they're converging right around you. It's upsetting. Cori, how do you react in shock as suddenly the spiders are surrounding you?
I scream, move to the side, move to the side. Oh wait, they're everywhere. Oh yeah.
You are crying out to another hero for help.
I am certainly doing that exact thing.
Well, as the kid, you have a move. Whenever you cry to another hero for help, they must answer your call. And I think you've taken an advance that adds something to this.
That's right. Whenever another hero puts my needs above their own safety, any rolls they make are improved by a whole level. You can't miss.
Alya, you hear this cry. You hear this kid calling your name from wherever you're standing watch on the opposite side of the treehouse. Let's say, what do you do?
Yeah, I think I'm on the complete other side of the treehouse. And this is there's the big whole panel, whole page Alya just scream box across the whole comic page, and then are there doors in this treehouse, or is it just curtains of?
It was like these big giant palm leaves that you can just put.
Okay, yeah. So I think, I think it's just a shower of leaf scraps that go flying as Alya is shooting the gun before she gets through the door. As there's just this kind of explosion of leaves that come out of the room, and she is going in guns blazing.
Okay, so you're trying to shoot the spiders.
Yes, that is the plan.
I think this is a fight roll.
Okay. Question: how does this impact with? Because I also took an advance, which is that when you fight, your roll is improved by 1 level.
I see. So if we believe that these stack, if we believe that Cori's calling for help stacks with your close quarters expert, there's no need to roll because even a miss will get improved by 2 levels.
Yes.
Wow. We have built a pretty incredible engine here. I'll allow it though.
Just need to toss Cori in the front lines every time we need to fight something.
So okay, tell us a little about these panels here. So on a for a fight on a 10+, you can choose you aren't injured and you injure the enemy. we'll say that you are able to like shoot down these spiders without yourself getting hurt. Give me a sense of this panel. What does it look like as Alya's instincts kick in, and even though she wasn't expecting to be fighting spiders, she's able to she's able to turn the tide here, rescue Cori.
Yeah, I think the there's this burst of light kind of panel with the big like bang kind of the big sound marks in the comic book page, and the actual screen doesn't show the spiders at all. Basically, after that point, I think the screen shows Cori's reaction to the spider, basically like exploding in his face.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. So the panel is just on Cori. Cori, what are we like? What are your reactions to Alya leaping in to rescue you?
I think the shift from absolute arachnophobic terror to thrill and delight at the amazingness of Alya, and then Viscera ruining that and like dripping off of his hair as he seems kind of grossed out, and
it's like totally cartoonish too. Like it's like just like green goo. Like for some reason the spiders were full of green goo, and that's what has like splattered.
I've been slimed.
Yeah,
you've been slimed.
Absolutely.
That's amazing. Yeah, I think Alya just kind of walks over and tosses you like a shirt or something to wipe yourself off. As she walks by and starts like poking her head around, looking up, trying to find if there are any other spiders that are like lurking out of sight.
Yeah. Kal, we'll turn the page and we'll see. Where did you, after your little chat with Alya, where did you go? Have you found a corner to hole up in of the hovel here, or what do we see?
I'm picturing Kal sitting in whatever room we've got this other person lying in.
Let's just say there's a name tag on his lab coat, just so we could start calling him by name. It says Dr. Brixton on the lab coat.
Dr. Brixton, excellent. And so Kal is, you see, there's like a panel that's a close-up of his journal where he's given the date and what he thinks is, or at least what he thinks is the date and time. And he's got notes about Dr. Brixton arriving. And then did Dr. Brixton have any bags or anything?
He was wearing this lab coat. In the last issue, we saw that something fell out of the lab coat, but Alya kind of kicked it away, and no one else noticed it. There was like a tablet, basically.
That's right.
So you don't know about that.
Oh yeah,
Alya has kept that to herself.
Right. Okay, then in that case, I think Cal's going to try to wake him up and talk to him.
He wakes up, groggy at first, but then like kind of quickly starts focusing. Oh, thank goodness you saved my life.
You're okay. My name is Kal Sharma. Dr. Brixton, as I can tell, and I hold up the name tag that I've removed from the lab coat.
That's me. Good. It's good to meet you, Kal. We'll have to put some scientific minds together to. Has it started happening yet?
Has what started happening? Who sent you, Dr. Brixton?
I need to see the sky. It's very important. Can you get me somewhere I can see the sky?
Of course. And I'll, up under the one shoulder, because he was shot in the leg, right? So it's like, hobbling him to the outer entryway, that vista that we saw earlier, Kal looking over.
Oh, totally. Yeah. And so Dr. Brixton now is staring up at the sky. He says, "Oh, I think it's starting. Look, and points at some wisp of cloud, barely visible against the dark sky. He says, "It's purple, isn't it? The purple clouds. They're starting to gather."
What are the purple clouds, Dr. Brixton?
They're emanations of the time anomaly.
How long have you been here?
Aren't you listening? Time doesn't work here properly. I could no more answer that question than tell you how old these creatures are. He gestures broadly over the whole jungle.
Dr. Brixton, what you're saying, I mean, we've observed some anomalies with our equipment, but surely time still moves forward as it must. This makes no sense. Who sent you? What are you doing here? What's your purpose here?
I was helping to study the anomaly, but what they want to do with it, I couldn't let them. That's why we need to get off the island as soon as possible. How did you get here? Do you have a helicopter, a boat?
We came on a boat. We're a research expedition. We work for Optimax. Who is them? Who do you work for?
Optimax. Of course they're trying to get into this as well. You have to tell them. You have to tell your bosses. You have to tell anyone at Optimax. Stay far away from the island. No good will come of it.
I see. Do you,
Alya, it sounds like you might be interested in entering this scene.
Yeah, I think this is we need a little bit of extra muscle to maybe get the truth out of this guy. I think maybe you hear a click and Alya is this. You happen to come out onto the balcony that Alya was had gone out to sit on, and the click is her putting the gun back together after she was cleaning it or something. And I just look over and wave the gun and hi, no, keep talking. You can keep talking. That's fine.
I see. Just a friendly wave with the gun.
Yes.
We need to chart a course off the island as soon as possible. I'm happy to explain everything once we're leaving this place.
Dr. Brixton, what about your notes? Surely you kept a journal or a log or something. I mean, you're a man of science.
Well, yes, and he starts patting his lap and he's like, I must. Oh no, I lost my tablet in the jungle. I can't believe it.
It's unfortunate.
That is very unfortunate.
I'll do what I can to recreate it from memory. You have writing supplies? You have a notebook right there.
I do, yes. I'd be happy to transcribe whatever you can recall.
Once we're leaving the island, yes?
Certainly.
All right, you two good with that scene? You have for us to turn the page?
I think I want to stand up and I want to walk over to him and pointedly, kind of. Is he kneeling or because his leg isn't?
Yeah, he was leaning on Kal when he came over here.
I think I walk up and get right in his face and I say, "You still haven't said anything about who sent you." There were a lot of words in there. I didn't see it. I didn't hear a name.
Solomon Industries. They want to monetize the time anomaly.
All right. Makes sense. And I clap him on the shoulder. And
readers of Gauntlet comics will remember that Solomon Industries is another large, powerful, shady entity in New Gauntlet City, presumably a rival of Optimax. We'll turn the page. just had a bunch of spiders splattered over your hovel. Things are much less kind of neat than they were moments ago. But I think what's drawing your attention is that plume of flame from the jungle, and now the audible sounds of footsteps, and the trees of the jungle seeming to shake every time they resound.
Yeah, the fire. I mean, scary echoing footsteps. I think we've heard before. Like I think she knows how to deal with that. The plume of fire is new, so she's trying to rack her brain, trying to figure out like, okay, I've been on this island a long time. Where else have I, when has this happened? When have I dealt with a plume of fire in the middle of the jungle? Like, was it a lightning strike? Did it start a fire? Okay, all right. Those footsteps are like, roughly like 1.5 seconds apart. That means something. They're roughly this loud. Gosh, it's big and it's close, and it's trying to figure out like what the rhythm is. Like, is it 4 feet? Is it 2 feet? Kind of stuff like that.
Yeah, sounds like a large biped. What do you do?
I think she's going to try and see if she can get a view of it. We mentioned last time that she, among all this junk, she has an old spyglass,
sure.
just like one of those little one-eye things, and she's going to basically try and get up to her highest vantage point. So she'll climb up her little rope ladder up closer to the top of the tree and just sort of scan around and see if she can pinpoint where this thing is and what it is, and if it's coming in this direction or if it's just sort of passing by us.
Yeah, absolutely. So like the panel is a little like circle panel, right? Of your spyglass, and there's like a panel of just jungle, and then a panel of like dark scaly skin, and in the middle of it a fiery red eye. And as presumably the next panel is you like pulling back a little bit to like get like the broader view, and you see this massive dark Tyrannosaurus shaped creature, but bigger than any Tyrannosaurus you've seen on the island so far. And it opens its jaws and it lets out a burst of flame. And it seems to be headed right towards your hovel.
And Freya lets out a string of curses. They're antiquated curses to anybody from like from like the 2020s. Like it sounds like really those awkward curses from like the mid 70s. And she basically slides back down the rope ladder in that fast like action movie kind of way and says, "We've got to get out of here now. That thing's coming this way, and nothing I've got up is going to even slow it down."
Yeah, absolutely. Like we see like in the background some of your like tripwire signal things going off, and like the twigs falling down, and the vines snapping. So like clearly it's just like plowed through everything in that direction. Cori, what do you do as Freya shares this news?
Yeah, we should go. Freya knows what's going on. Let's go. Okay, let's run.
You grabbing your? Are you grabbing Alya? Are you grabbing Kal?
I'll grab Kal. I trust Alya to take care
Right.
of
So this kid, Cori comes like running over to like Kal, who's still supporting the frightened Dr. Brixton. Yeah, Kal, what do you do as Cori is like trying to get you to run?
I'm picturing. I'm just like, what is it? What's the
big monster? We have to go.
Monster. Okay, and I'm like trying to get Dr. Brinkman up as well, and so we've all just got to run for it.
Who wants to roll run first here? and I take it the plan is, or actually, yeah, Cori, if you're leading the charge, trying to make a run for it, are you running in a particular direction, given given some of the things we spotted from the treehouse here? We'll say the Tyrannosaurus is kind of coming from the northwest a little bit, out of the jungle down towards the hovel. Yeah. What are you thinking, Cori?
Yeah, we gotta run. I'll lead the run. I'm not a great runner, but I do have a +1 in fit. So let's see how it goes.
All right.
Oh, wow, that's great. I rolled an 11 +1 is a 12.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, that's unexpected.
Which way are you planning to run? Like, what's the we're gonna get panels, obviously, of you like scrambling down from the treehouse, like bolting into the jungle. But bolting which way? Where do you want to head?
I think we should go towards that tram. It also takes us towards the radio tower, which is where we really want to end up. So, yeah, that way.
Cool.
Unless they runs right into the thing and I misunderstood where it was coming from.
No. That makes a lot of sense. So like, just give me the panel of how you are, like a panel of like, moving fast through the jungle underbrush to like get past this monster and make your way to the mysterious monorail.
Ooh, so was I successful in bringing Kal along with me?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, cool. So I think it's a thing of first he's holding Kal's hand, and then Kal runs past him, and they're a bunch of like palm fronds and everything. They're pushing their way through, and then Kal slides down, or basically kind of loses his balance, and Cori comes after him, and the both of them like slide down this leaf-covered small hill that goes into a cranny, like a little creek, and then they run across the creek, and they do the predator hide, right, as the thing goes lumbering past.
Right.
They're both in the shadows, breathing, and Cori's terrified. I'm not sure if Kal's scared or not. And it's also the moment from like Lord of the Rings, with the ring race above type deal.
And like Dr. Brixton is like, like holding his breath and trying not to like wince after having, run on his wounded leg. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds good to me. Kal, any additions to these panels?
Okay, so we're like hunched in this the overgrowth root as the thing is chomping by, and I think Kal turns to Cori and says, "Okay, you go first. While it's not looking, we'll be right behind you. Don't stop. Don't look back. We're right behind you."
Okay. I'll pause for a moment and say, it's like that time. It's like that time at Hedgewick when I had to learn how to cast a thing with my greatest fear, and I was never too good at it. But then this one time I pulled it off. It was during a quiz, not the actual test, so it didn't count. I did it. And then he'll get up and try to sneak out per Kal's insistence. Him being the child, the kid.
And then Kal turns to Dr. Brixton and says, "Sir, I respect you as a scientist, but this is where we part." And I gonna jab the pin into his leg and take off running.
Oh man. Oh man. Just leaving him behind as prey for the dinosaur. Yeah, and like he's he's screaming after you. You madman! You've doomed us all! And then like there's a panel of this, suddenly, he like behind him, this dinosaur face, and then the jaws open and this ball of fire fills up the panel. And maybe we'll take a little break. How about we take 10 and get back here at quarter of? All right, and we'll check in and see how Freya and Alya are doing on making it to safety. See you all soon. Looks like we're mostly back, just some of us off camera, which is fine. Hey, there we go. So we saw in that last panel a demonstration of Dr. Sharma's true cold-bloodedness and the dinosaurs, fire-breathingness. Let's check back at the hovel. I want to see how Freya and Alya are planning to escape from this approaching predator. Freya, Cori went off running as soon as you gave the word to run. What are you doing? Are you grabbing the last other person left in here, or what?
Yeah, I think Freya's trying to hurry Alya out, and Freya's still kind of winded from dragging back that scientist from earlier, because she still has that -1 forward to fit.
That's true.
So she's basically trying to push Alya out and get Alya ahead of her, because she's pretty sure she's going to drag behind, and she's going to depend on her knowledge of the land to kind of catch up if she falls behind.
So Alya, are you letting Freya push you ahead, or are you attempting to flee alongside her?
No, I don't want to leave Freya behind. I think, I definitely think that I respect and see the value of having somebody with that much local knowledge compared to the rest of us who are kind of just going in blind. So I personally think we need Freya, or we're not getting out of this.
Absolutely. At all. So it sounds like the two of you are running together.
Yeah. So I kind of wanted to have Freya get ahead of me so that I could go back and get the tablet from the pile of junk.
So Freya's trying to push you ahead. You're like, no, you start, right? And then just taking when you have just a moment, pulling that tablet out surreptitiously. Sure, I'm sure you can do that. You can you're just tucking it away somewhere on your person to keep it safe for a later date.
I think that no, I kind of I like the drama of Freya. I can't get Freya to go ahead of me because she's convinced that I need to go ahead of her, and so
nice. Okay, yeah. So Freya, you spot Alya just grabbing this strange tablet out from under your pile of mechanical junk.
And I think Freya sort of stares at Alya for a second, and then says, "I know that wasn't in any of my piles of junk before you guys got here, so I'm not going to worry about that now. But you've got to go. The kid has already taken off running. You can't let him run around. You saw what he did with the Triceratops earlier. What are you going to try and do with this giant fire-breathing thing? Get after him.
I trust him not to run straight into it. Let's go."
And Freya just stops and stares at you. What was the first thing he did when we first saw a dinosaur?
A Triceratops is very different from a fire-breathing whatever the hell that thing is.
It's true. It's true.
It's true. So basically, if I'm not sure exactly how to do the rolling, but Freya is slower. She's a -2 to running.
So in fact, it tells us how to do the rolling. When some or all of you act together, for example, everyone runs for it, the hero in the worst position or with the lowest relevant stat rolls.
That would be Freya.
So Freya, you're going to be the one to make this roll as the two of you make a run for it. It's scrambling down from the treehouse, getting out of there. As this big thing is coming. Each step is thunderous now as it's gotten closer.
Okay, so this is at a -2 because I have a -1 fit, and then I have a -1 forward to my fit roll.
Perfect. What could go wrong?
A lot. That's a 4.
Okay. So here's what I'm picturing. I think you were delayed by a precious minute as Alya grabbed this tablet before you left. So as you're on your way down like rope ladder or something, right? Like what like you've got a way to descend from the treehouse. On your way down, like just a blast of fire from this dinosaur's maw, kind of it lights up the whole hovel, right? So like the tree and the hovel are all in flames, and you are bathed in some of this fire as you're trying to get down to the jungle floor. I'm gonna have Freya mark for Dino burns, and
I'm sorry, I got a little bit of roboting there. Freya's going to mark 1 injury.
Yes, for Dino burns. And Alya, are you like what do you do? Are you trying to like pull her out of this, or what?
Yeah, I think Alya. Is this like the I see the fireball coming, and I grab Freya and leap off the tree as it.
Oh, perfect!
Fire.
Yeah, as a way to just like to try to minimize this. Absolutely. I love that. I'd like you to roll Take My Hand for when you stop what you're doing to help someone else in trouble, because I think that's about it. Like, because you're trying to help her not get burnt to a crisp here, right?
Yeah, I think this is just fit.
Yeah, roll with fit.
Probably.
I buy it.
All right. Need to actually open the thing. Oh god, that is a 3 + 1.
Oh no, I'm so sorry. On a miss, you made it worse for both of you. So you definitely like scoop Freya up and like leap from the tree, right? Like that absolutely makes sense. I think the problem is that you land in a field of like sharpened stakes, right? Where basically you land like right in like a dinosaur trap that Freya had left. And like you didn't know that was where you were aiming. So like so Alya, you're going to take an injury from the from this. Go ahead and tell me about the panel of you realizing what a mess you've landed in here.
Check our safety
which
tab
injuries
quick.
can we not have? Fair enough. Good to check.
Yeah. Is this the panel where like we land and I'm like, okay, we got up, and I try and get up, and then I look down and there's a big stake
like
through my leg.
You're a little impaled.
And I'm
looking a little impaled.
I can't get up.
Buy it. Yeah, go ahead and mark that as an injury. Freya, how do you manage to avoid further injury on landing? But how do we see that you're suffering the effects of the dinosaur's fiery breath here?
I think when we leaped, I think what happened was Alya, planning to basically, because she obviously has far more like training for this sort of thing, right? Basically leaped down and was going to basically tuck and roll with Freya, who was I think smaller than Alya, sort of tucking her in and rolling. So when we hit, Freya takes the initial impact, or Alya takes initial impact because she was going to do the tuck and roll move, thinking that was solid ground. And as we're going down and we're sort of tumbling through the air, like Freya sees where they were going to land, and she tries to scream out a warning, but it's too late for Alya to change direction. And I think Freya basically tries to grab onto something, and I think instead of falling into the pit, like Freya managed to catch hold of one of the a vine that was hanging down, and just managed to avoid falling in.
Nice. So Freya's dangling from a
Way.
vine. Yeah.
So she reached out to try and hold on to Alya, but like she couldn't hold because of her weakened state, like the burns and the previous issues with her health and with her exhaustion from earlier. She just couldn't hold on, and Alya slipped from her grip and went into the pit.
Oof, that's awesome. And I think I want to just like add one more detail here. There's a panel that shows Alya's handgun lying on the ground next to Freya. So Alya's weapon, got flew out of its holster in the fall here. So the handgun's next to Freya. Alya, leg impaled down in the pit, and Freya, you start hearing the chittering sounds of those like swarm hunter dinosaurs that you'd rescued Dr. Brixton from earlier. The ones that appear as a bunch of little eyes looking out of the woods before they swarm you.
So we start hearing that sort of weird sort of chirp.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We get a couple of those sound effects on the panel. Yeah, absolutely. Any like reaction to that we want as a little pin on that scene before we turn the page?
I think you see Freya's eyes widen as you see the sound effects. You see her eyes widen, and then her eyes start snapping from side to side, like she's looking for something.
Yeah. So we turn the page from a situation that has rapidly deteriorated for Freya and Alya, and we see Kal. What does it look like as you catch up with Cori near the base of the monorail?
I think Kal is running up, and at this point he's in this sort of short sleeve button up kind of like Columbia shirt, but it's showing visible signs of dirt and sweat stains and things on it, and he's running up, and I don't know what's Cori doing at this point. Cori was ahead of him.
Breathing super heavily, but gaping in awe at the monorail above, and just trying to get a look at it, trying to understand what's going on. When Kal comes up, he glances back. Where's the other guy?
Cori, goodness. Dr. Brixton didn't make it. It was just he was hurt, and the dinosaur caught up to us, and all I could do was run. But are you okay?
It didn't get me.
That's good. That's good, Cori. And I think Kal walks up and kind of goes to one knee and puts his hand out onto Cori's shoulder and says, Cori, we're gonna get through this. We're gonna get off of this, and it's gonna be okay. But Cori, I need your help with something. Can you help me with something?
Of course. What do you need, Doctor?
There's so much we can learn from this island. But we have to take something with us when we leave. I need you to help me find something. Anything that could fit into one of our bags or that we could carry. An egg. Perhaps a pet dinosaur. You'd like a pet dinosaur, right?
I almost had one, but we had to let it go.
Maybe we can find you another one. Can you help me look for something like that, Cori?
Sure. Sure. We could do that.
And I think Kal stands up, and there's like an awkward moment, and then he just kind of goes to ruffle Cori's hair.
Are you hoping to scavenge this area to find something that you could take home?
Ooh, that's a neat idea. I hadn't thought of that, but yeah, I like the sound of that.
When you and another hero take a quiet moment to search for useful objects or information, tell them a story and roll plus clever.
Okay. So I'm picturing Kal and Cori start, walking around the base of this monorail, and maybe it's clear that the nature has started to grow up over this area where people built some things, and Cal's kind of just monologuing now and saying, you know what this reminds me of? I love puzzles. I find them so relaxing, and this is just another puzzle, Cori. We're just out here looking for the missing puzzle piece. Do you do puzzles? You know what it's like when you find that missing puzzle piece, how great it is?
Yeah. Yeah, my dad does Sudoku.
That's good. That's good. We're going to find our puzzle piece, Cori. I can feel it. And when we do, there's going to be good things for both of us.
Is this the story of how you blow off steam?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so go ahead and roll plus clever.
All right, so that is an 8, and then for clever, I think I have a 2. Yep, so that's going to be a 10.
Wow. All right. Yeah, when you scavenge on a 10 plus, you find something useful, maybe even that one thing you were hoping for. It's got to be like, you're looking around and you find kind of like nestled up against one of the like cement girders of the monorail is this little hidden nest, and in it there's one large, basketball-sized dinosaur egg with like a sort of iridescent pattern on it, like some of the dinosaurs you've seen, right? Like it's, I don't know, Cori, what's so entrancing about the egg as you see it?
I think that it's speckled almost like an Easter egg in a way.
Oh, that's awesome. Nice. A big dinosaur Easter egg.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you do?
Oh, Cori, this is perfect. This is exactly what we need. And Kal has now turned his backpack over and is dumping out all of these other like small specimens, of plant clippings and water and soil and stuff he's found. He's just dumping it out because I picture this thing. You said it's like basketball size, so it's only this egg is going to fit in the backpack.
Yeah, just about.
And so yeah, he's just dumping everything out and just, here, help me with this, and pull the backpack open for Cori to slide the egg in.
As he grunts and kind of squats down with the effort to lift it. It's not that it's heavy as much as he's just worried about tipping it and breaking it, so it kind of balances it against his little belly, and then he starts to put in, are we sure this is a good idea? What if this needs mom or something?
It will be well taken care of, Cori, and I'm confident that through science we'll be able to be a better parent than anything could have ever had.
No,
it's most likely just going to get eaten on this island. I mean, you've seen some of the other things out here. We're helping it.
We should probably try to get to the radio tower.
Absolutely. And I think Cal's zipping the backpack up now.
Yes, he is. And in the sky above, like we get a panel where we see in the sky above, somehow it's lighter now, right? Like somehow night has passed extraordinarily quickly, and light is starting to fill the sky, and purple clouds are also swirling above the island. I have been called to assist with the baby, so let's take a slightly early break here. Yeah, let's take 10 here. Be back at 17 past to hopefully play to the end. All right. Good, good. Looks like we're back. So we turn the page and we go back to Freya and Alya. Alya in the pit, leg impaled on a spike. Freya burned by a dinosaur, but hanging on to a vine, if I remember correctly, just above the pit. And all around are the little eyes of small theropods, blinking open in the surrounding, the dark undergrowth of the jungle. I would say your situation is bad. Things are not great. I think you're not in totally immediate peril, right? I think the theropods are gauging you, trying to figure out what's going on. So Alya, Freya, what do you do?
You say not in immediate danger, and then I'm about to bleed out on the ground. So yeah, that's fun. I think Alya is a ball of adrenaline right now. Whatever that entails. I think the immediate response is like dull the pain and just like try and somehow get my leg off of this spike, because that's kind of immediate threat number one.
Okay, so just try and free yourself here.
Yeah.
I think to do that, you might have to hold on to your butt.
Yeah, to ignore a debilitating injury, that makes sense.
Yeah, when you rely on sheer physicality to power through difficulty or ignore a debilitating injury, you roll plus fit. Is that going to be your approach? Freya, you saying anything about the about what you're observing from up at the top of the pit?
I think Freya says in sort of a whisper shout, that really loud whisper.
Yeah, sotto voce.
Yeah. So, all right, Alya, I know you're hurt. I need you to try and stay quiet because we are surrounded by a group of small pack hunting dinosaurs. They're small individually. They're not really a threat, but there are a lot of them around. I think they're sort of following the big one around just to see what it leaves behind and maybe scavenging a bit. So we don't want to give them the impression that we are to be scavenged. Okay?
That's a good impression. Oh God. This is gonna hurt. Let's roll some dice. That is a 4 plus 1 is a 5.
Alya, the dice have not been kind to you.
No, I don't think so.
When you hold onto your butt on a miss, you're seriously injured, and you are already injured. So let me double check. Freya, you don't have like a jump in and save the day move that you're ready to apply.
I can try and do that one move where I basically kind of jump in and help. I think it's like the give me your hand or something like that.
Oh, take my hand. When you stop what you're doing to help someone else in trouble. Alya, are you up for Freya to roll that? Noting that if there's no way to avert this additional injury, you're going to be making the casualty move.
I kind of had the feeling that Alya was going to die in this game, so I'm good with letting her have a good death.
Okay.
Well, if you don't want me to roll it, like we can do that. But if you're up for me trying the last ditch, like Hail Mary, I'm willing to try that as well. So It's up to you. What do you? What if you want Alya to make her death scene here? That's cool too. I'll step back.
I think this is the perfect spot for it. So I think we'll let the narrative speak for itself.
Let's read the casualty move. When you are grievously hurt or take an injury while already injured, you're in bad shape. Tell someone your darkest secret or unfulfilled hope, and then choose one. Or you choose either you get one final heroic act and then die, or you're out of commission, right? Your character, you can't do anything, but your character will survive if the others can get you off the island in time. So Alya, the first step is tell someone your darkest secret or unfulfilled hope.
So I think the way that I want to do this, you said that my gun flew off earlier, right? And it landed kind of off by where Freya is.
Yeah, I landed near Freya.
I think the whole holster came off, and the gun isn't the only thing in the holster.
Oh, perfect.
I think there's a letter in there.
Oh, cool. So basically, your secret is in the letter.
Yeah.
Awesome. So Freya, make sure you grab that holster, because we all want to know eventually what that dark secret or unfulfilled hope is. Okay. What do you choose next from the casualty move?
I think the final heroic act maybe is is it the like you're more important than me, look up at Freya and just kind of like point towards wherever the other two ran off and say, you need to help them get out. And I just like rip my leg, this spike out of my leg. I'm bleeding everywhere, and I walk the other direction.
Oh, that's awesome.
And the panel is just looking down, and you see the bloody footprints walking off the screen, and then you see the little theropods walking after it.
Oh, yeah. So first we have the track of the blood, and then we see this swarm of small dinosaurs, like piranhas, basically, following the blood on the jungle floor. Yeah. Alya, it's been great having you here as a character, but this looks like this is the end of the line. Freya, what do you do? What do we see? How do you react to Alya's heroic sacrifice here?
I think Freya, at first she's like shaking her head no as she's trying to climb down from this vine, like shakily, because she's like got probably at least some serious second degree burns like on her back and side from those flames. So she's trying to clamber down this vine, just shaking her head no, and then maybe Sam, if you're okay with this, like Alya just sort of like shakes her head and like points in the direction of of Cori and Kal, and I think Freya finally gets down to the ground from the vine and like nods and gives a sort of solemn, not really a bow, but that's sort of like survivor's nod to Alya, as the little predators slowly start to chirp along that blood trail, and she sees the holster and figures that's at least something she can bring back from the expedition, for Alya to go to whoever her next of kin would be, so she can at least do that. And she picks it up and straps it on, and as she is buckling it on, she notices the letter. She doesn't pull it out yet, but she notices it in there, and sees that, and cinches it up and hobbles off in the direction of Cori and Kal, or at least the direction she thinks they went in, because they might have lost track of she might have lost track of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Alya, do you want to share the letter like in voiceover at this point, or do you want to save that for later? I'm up for whatever you'd like on this score.
I wanna save it for later, but I do think that there's a panel of the letter, and it's got Kal. It's got Cal's full name written out.
Got it, dear, or to Dr. Kal Sharma. Sure, yeah. I like it.
I would also point out that I don't have that tablet because Alya didn't drop that.
Yeah, you got the letter, not the tablet. Absolutely. Freya, we haven't heard exactly how you lost your sister. Is there any like sort of like flashback panel here, right, as you're like making your way away from Alya? Does this bring back any memories for you?
I think I can't turn down that opportunity. I think as Freya is stalking off through the forest, trying to stay just off the path of the big thing, because she doesn't doesn't want to be like in its sight if it happens to like double back. So she's staying just out of view, and is trying to make their way to where she thinks they would have gone, which was toward the trolley track, not trolley, toward the monorail track. And so she slowly is hobbling in that direction. And as she's going, like she's you see this sort of like if you're looking at it as a comic panel, like there's a panel where it's half the panel is like her stalking through the forest in profile, and like going from like tree to tree, shrub, bush to bush, sort of making her way through the undergrowth. And the other half of the panel is you see someone that looks a lot like Freya, but just different enough where you can tell it's not her. The haircut is different, the face is different. Whereas Freya, we've always seen her up until this point as like having that sort of like that. I can't believe I'm still stuck here when you people have a boat where we could leave. Scowl. You see like a friendly and engaging face, and you can tell that's obviously her sister Frida. And you're seeing like all of these different panels as they're stalking through, like Frida talking. There you don't see any words in the word bubble, so it's just you can tell it's just sort of a memory. And you see them making their way through the jungle just after the plane crash, because you can see like the smoking plane in the background, and you see them sort of slowly finding the hovel and trying to slowly turn it into something that they hope will be a temporary shelter, but it turns out not to be. And you see them trying to explore those structures, the station, the monorail track, and then you see this scene where basically they get ambushed by basically one of the middle-sized pack hunting dinosaurs, like Utah raptor or velociraptor, something like that, and they get cut off, and Freya got injured. That's why she has a -1 fit, and her sister Frida said, and basically you can tell she's basically leading them away, like making noise, running, making a lot of noise as she runs away and is drawing them off. And Freya eventually, got out of where she was stuck and tried to catch up. And when she'd finally caught up, like the raptors had caught up with Frida first, and she did pick the raptors off eventually. Like she hunted the pack down, but that's all. That didn't really fill any holes that were left. and that memory is just particularly raw now. And you see like another panel where it's a 3-split panel, and you see like Freya stalking through the woods, going towards where Cori are. You see Frida, sort of her face as she's turning away with a sort of sad smile, and you saw the determination and pain etched in Alya's face as she was shaking her head and stalking away into the woods to lead the small theropods off.
Absolutely. Freya, this isn't exactly how the game imagines this working, but I feel like we can count this as a story you've told, right? Possibly of, well, the person you hope to be reunited with, albeit not in this life, right? How does that sound to you?
I think so. I think that works.
Yeah, so there's these meditative panels. There's this kind of cross time connection. Like at points, Freya, you feel like your memories are almost manifesting in the forest around you, but sooner than you would expect, as if time is a little out of joint. You find yourself arriving at the base of that monorail, and you spot Kal and Cori. Kal is swinging a backpack onto his over his shoulders, and we get some panels just establishing the setting. There's this the monorail tracks are up above the jungle, and there's these kind of big cement pillars holding it up basically, and on one of these nearby pillars there's just like a ladder going up to the monorail platform. In the sky, purple clouds are gathering, and otherwise the day is suddenly bright, as if it's midday all of a sudden. Freya, what do you say as you spot your allies here?
I think as Freya sort of stalks out of the forest, and Rich, you tell me if this makes sense. Like maybe Cori is the first one to spot her, and his eyes, and maybe I would think his eyes light up as he's looking for Alya, because of course if Freya made it out, yeah, Alya would be making it out, right?
Absolutely, that's exactly what.
And I think Freya sort of catches his eye as he's sort of scanning behind her, and she looks at him and she shakes her head.
Oof. Cori, what do you do?
His mouth hangs open and he blinks, and immediately we see tears just stream down his face. He just shake. No. What? No.
And I think as Freya gets closer, you can start to see like the sort of, there's still probably a little bit of sort of smoke, sort of slightly drifting off her singed clothing, and Freya says she drew them off. She got hurt.
We have to go.
No,
Kal,
help her.
She made me promise to get you two off the island. I mean to keep my word. And Rich or Alexi, did we establish whether or not Freya saw the little handwriting on the envelope? I remember saying that she saw it, but do you think she saw the handwriting?
That she saw there's a letter? Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay. And I think as she approaches Kal, I think she will pull out the letter and hold it out to him. Alya meant for you to have this, I think.
I'm speechless. Thank you, Freya. I think you're right. We owe it to Alya to get out of here. And I'll take the letter and kind of glance at the outside and then fold it up and
All right.
stick it into my pocket to look at
And
later.
as you do that, there's a sound effect at the top of the panel, like vroom, and you look up and you see coming kind of along the track is that monorail mysteriously still running. What do you do?
Quick, we need to get up. We have to get onto this train and get to that radio tower. Is there are there stairs up to the boarding
There's
platform?
there's a ladder,
or
kind of
is-
like a metal ladder jetting out of this cement pillar that holds up the monorail track.
Yeah, so I think Kal just
Absolutely
heads for that ladder. and
Yeah.
start
Do the
climbing.
three? Do the other two follow? Freya, Cori.
Definitely.
Yeah. Corey's hesitant, but he does.
Yeah, up above the jungle, you're on this monorail platform. The air is clear up here. Just feels warm and sunny. Like everything about the natural world is all cheerful, unexpectedly, paradoxically, inappropriately, and sliding in front of you, to a stop in front of you is this monorail car. Alya, what is strangely futuristic about the monorail?
I think that it's using a like almost maglev type deal, so you don't feel the train come in. There's no the big vibrations that come in. It's perfectly smooth as it pulls up to the side, except for the occasional bump when it runs into a tree that's kind of grown over the tracks and just knocks the tree out of the way.
Nice. Yeah, absolutely. Cori, what's the panel of kind of Cori on board this train, just processing all of the different emotions that this kid is having?
He has to get a little bit of help from Freya to make it up all the way to the train, and then when
He needs a little boost.
Yeah, he gets a little boost. He looks out and his eyes scan across the canopy of the forest, looking, hoping he could see Alya, knowing he won't.
Yeah, you do see a little plume of fire, familiar sight from the forest, and these purple clouds seeming to gather up in the sky. In fact, kind of starting to swirl, like there's a big purple spiral pattern, stretching out over much of the island. Kal, you see the radio tower up ahead. Clearly the monorail is headed right towards it. Why are you sure that is your ticket out of here?
I think it's what makes the most sense. Where our signal is being overrun, we can tell that. This is a visible radio tower. Freya has told us this is the only radio tower on the island.
Mm-hmm.
Where else could it come from?
Seems logical. Is there someone you would radio back at Optimax Industries once you have the ability to do so?
Yeah, I think there's a base camp that was this is in a lake, right? So
Right.
there's a camp on the other shore.
Oh, got it. A base camp on the shore of the lake.
Yeah. And so, we expected to be in full contact with them the whole time. It was just a 3-hour tour, and they should be perfectly reasonable to radio once we can just get this dang interference out of the way.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah. Freya, what's your little instinct, or what is it that tells you when something strange is about to happen? Like, is it like your hair stands on end or something, or what given all the weird things you've encountered on this island, what's the little tell you've noticed?
I think what happens for her is basically she gets that sort of skin tingle, just when you get that first wave of goosebumps, from a draft on in a warm room, like that sort of she feels it on the surface of her skin, just like a chill, and that's what keys her up.
Yeah, you feel that little chill, and then those kind of purple clouds you've been glimpsing in the sky, suddenly there's a sort of there's a burst of purple smoke within the monorail, and you're looking around, confused, and as the smoke clears, there's a half dozen heavily armed soldiers standing in the monorail, and the panel shows the leader type guy, right, looking around, being what's going on? You there, who are you? Demanding answers from Kal, Freya, Cori. So sudden intruders, strange things afoot. Kal, they're demanding answers. What do you say?
Kal puts his hands up. There's no reason to be alarmed. We are an expedition team here to research. We are scientists. We are marooned on this island, and we came here simply looking to radio for help on the way to get out of here.
Scientists? You don't look like one of ours.
Are you Solomon Industries?
Yeah, he nods to that. Who are you?
My name is Dr. Kal Sharma. I work for Optimax. It's no secret our employers don't get along, but that's no reason that we can't be respectable people here and now.
There's muttering and murmuring from this group of soldiers. Cori, they don't seem to have noticed you, actually. You're there's people have guns, sort of lightly trained on Freya and Kal, but no one seems to have noticed you. You're just a little below their eye level here. What do you do, I wonder?
Oh man. So we're on the monorail, got these guard soldiers.
These just suddenly appeared, right?
Kal's being commanding, but not. I don't know if they're really listening to him. Freya's, kind of weird.
She does stink. It's true.
I think Cori will just try to play the little kid, and he'll say, I need to see my mom and dad. These Kal and Freya were helping me, and we're just trying to get home. Can you guys please help us?
Trying to appeal to the humanity of these of these goons, these guards here.
Yup.
I want to make you roll for that. Maybe
Okay.
it's just do it.
There's no manipulate thing, so sure, just do it. Sounds good.
Yeah, because you certainly you can usually ask for help from adults, right? But this is a situation where the pressure is on. What do you think?
These are not heroes.
What do you think will happen if you mess up?
I think I might get backhanded or something.
Oh man. Okay. Just like
shut up, kid.
Things devolve quickly there. All right.
Yeah, here we go. I've got a -1 in steady. So here we go. And that -1 has caused my scraping by success to become a failure.
So like you've like what, you're like tugging at like the pant leg of one of these guards, and like
maybe at an elbow. I don't know if I'm that short, but yeah,
you're a young teenager. You're not
Baby Yoda, but yeah.
Yeah, a timid young teen.
Sleeve, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Like the guy like startles and like shoves you back. It's like, what's this kid doing here? What kind of shenanigans are you trying to pull, right? And like the leader, takes a step forward to Kal and says, I wish you hadn't brought a kid. It's going to make this a lot harder. Nobody who's not working for Solomon is supposed to get off this island. And then, like raises a hand like he's going to tell his men to start shooting.
Yeah, I'm going to cast a quick glance at Freya and, oh, you know what? Actually, I'm going to literally yell, look over there. And then attempt to run and punch and get out of the way.
Okay, so first a distraction where you literally yell, "Look over there!" Like what? Pointing like out at the jungle, like something's coming from there.
Yeah, I think just like over their shoulder. Oh, good gracious! What is that?
Roll plus clever, and let's see what happens.
Thank goodness I have a +2 in clever, so that's a 7.
Okay, on a 7 through 9, the dinosaur notices you. So this move is not written well for non-dinosaur threats, but I'm gonna take that 7 through 9 literally. That indeed the soldiers spin round, worried about what's happening, and you hear a like thud as something lands on the top of the monorail right about this time. Freya, Kal has created a distraction. Absolutely, but these soldiers seem unfriendly to say the least. I want to know, what are you doing?
Oh gosh. So basically, they've drawn. They look like they're about to raise guns and cut loose.
Yes,
and
you hear like safeties clicking off.
I think Freya's going to try and grab the emergency brake. There's usually one of those hanging conveniently around most monorails and trains, and just drop and pull.
Oh, nice! Just like bring the thing to a screeching halt.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that's maybe just a sheer distraction move, in the hopes of basically getting them. Well, we just did a distraction move. Maybe it might. Let me see if it fits into anything else.
I'm up to just tell you what happens if you like grab the emergency brake and fling it on.
Okay, yeah, that's what Freya's going to do. So let's see how it works.
Obviously, the monorail, grinds to a halt. Like, even though it's magleving over the track, you hear like a grinding noise. So like somehow throwing the brake always causes this grinding noise, right? And like the soldiers who had not braced themselves for this are like knocked over. So there's a pile of these men on the ground. Like one gun goes off and just like shatters the like glass on the roof of the monorail, and then like screeching in from above, this giant pterosaur, wings spread wide, is now like leaning down into the monorail and like snapping its big beak, and it like snaps its beak on Kal's lab coat, or on Kal's like khaki shirt. So like he's got a pterosaur like trying to like lift him up from behind here. Cori, things are getting crazy. What are you doing?
Is there any way to make this monorail go? Maybe if we just go on the monorail, we can get to the docks and get out of here. I want to make it go. I want to get out of here.
So after Freya has just flung the brake on, you want to like unfling it?
Oh, that's true. Right. Sorry. Yeah. No. I don't want us to like be fitting, but. I don't know. Do we need these guys when they get the brakes are flung on? Do they drop a weapon or?
Oh man, there's just like a gun lying on the ground. Sure.
That sounds crazy. I'll grab a gun.
The kid is grabbing a gun. What do you do, Cori? Like, so somebody's like, hey, right, but someone else has landed right on top of them, so they're not in a position to like grab their weapon back.
I assume when we stop the vehicle that Freya intends on us getting off, so maybe I just unload on the door so we can get out of here.
So this kid with like a gun that's like do you adequately brace yourself for like the like?
Of course not. No.
Okay, so
they don't do that in the movies.
The door is blasted off its hinges, but you are like like flung back against the wall a little as you do that. Sorry, let me just. Yeah, I don't think that's quite a move yet, but yeah, Kal, a dinosaur has like grabbed you. What do you do?
And you said it's grabbed me by the shirt or by the backpack?
It's got to be the backpack, I guess.
Right? I don't know why I even offered that.
We're here to tell a good story.
Oh man, I'm gonna try and punch the dinosaur in the face and make it let go of this backpack so I can run away with it. I gotta have this backpack. I need the dino egg.
Oh man. Yeah, so it says the Dino Master can always decide you can't fight a dinosaur.
Oh, that's totally fair.
No. That kind of puts the ball in my court. I'll let you roll to fight. You're gonna roll without a bonus because you don't have a weapon. You're just trying to hand-to-hand combat this pterosaur.
And it's not so much that I want to fight it as I want to make it let go for a moment.
Got it. Yeah, cool. So on a hit, you can make it let go for a moment, and you won't have to worry about this dino egg getting away from you.
That is a flat 7.
Okay. Yep. You buy a precious moment for someone to help you. So perhaps, in fact, like you distract it, and then the Freya is able to like pull you down from the thing's beak. You have to choose one from the list of you aren't injured or you injure the enemy.
I'm gonna go with I'd like to see the enemy get injured in this. So I'll take an injury in this scuffle.
Beautiful. So just like do like a surgical jab at like the throat of this pterosaur, and it starts gagging, right? And like so like you you hit the ground, Freya's like helping you up, and like the creature is like, you feel like, injured its windpipe in some way, but it is thrashing around, and now like the whole monorail car is like being flung back and forth. And I think it just like with like one like, raking claw, slashes at your face as you try to get away. Does that work for you?
Yeah.
The soldiers are trying to get to their feet, and the like crazed dinosaur is slashing at them now, and like some of them are now like shooting at the dinosaur. So it's your attack has opened it up to further attack. But yeah, Freya, Kal, Cori, it seems like you want to get out of here. Freya, are you leading the way? What's the plan?
I think Freya is trying to shuffle Cori out, and hopefully Kal is right behind us. But she's basically trying to get Cori the heck out of this thing and get us away from the soldiers.
Yeah, are you going to run for it?
I know how to deal with dinosaurs, but I don't know how to deal with like a squad of soldiers with guns. Like that's a threat that Freya's not used to dealing with right now. So
absolutely. Yeah, do you want to roll run for it?
Sure. I'd love it if I didn't have to roll that with fit, but at least I'm not at -2 now. I'm just at my regular -1.
I kind of feel like maybe you're putting my needs over your own safety by trying to help me out. Maybe if so, you get the inspire heroism.
Oh, nice! Oh. Inspire heroism. That is
that bumps up my result, correct?
Yes,
by a whole tier.
Oh, all right. Well, so I can't completely bone this. That is a 9. It's an 8 with the -1. So that bumping up by a tier gives me a 10 or a 10. So
it bumps it up to a 10. On 10 plus, you escape to a safe location. And I think what that means is the three of you like book it along the like raised monorail tracks, while like behind you this car rocks as the pterosaur and the soldiers just destroy each other, and you're going to make it to the radio tower at last. Alya, a similar question as before. What is futuristic looking about the radio tower? Like when they get close, what like gives the sense that this thing is not something you could build with just contemporary technology?
I think that the big dish that's on the top is like, from far away it looked like it was just like broken or missing pieces, but when you get up close it's very clear that it's not missing pieces. It's designed in this very strange, almost like organic curve.
Oh, that's fascinating.
Like it's transmitting something that doesn't quite behave the same as a normal signal would.
Mm-hmm. So like clearly some strange supernatural signal going on here. Yeah, or at least not understood by contemporary science.
Yeah, like where there should be a hole, it's bent, and there are structural pieces that are holding it in that bent shape.
Yeah, and you like see kind of like as you're getting here and like glance back over your shoulder, you see these like pillars of purple cloud just like touching down on different places on the island, right? Like the weirdest storm system you've ever seen. Just these swirling purple clouds touching different places, and strange sounds emanating everywhere that they land. But the three of you have made it at long last to the radio tower. Kal, what do you do?
I'm going to start looking for some sort of control panel, or if there's maybe a device around that's, emanating the signal. Just, looking for knobs to turn and buttons to push.
Yeah, strangely few knobs or buttons, right? Like there are these kind of, metal-ish but kind of curved in organic ways, consoles and whatnot, and like you find one and it appears to just have like a bunch of differently colored mushrooms growing from it, and you're but they're organized like they're a keyboard or something, but they're not little mechanical buttons or anything like that.
And I just turned to other people, the others, just, what is this? What? I've never seen anything like this before.
Alexi, could this be something that might trigger one of my moves? It's usually keyed to a location, but we had established that I've been to this radio tower before.
Oh, interesting.
So might it trigger my been around the block move?
I'm looking at your moves, and I wonder if there's a different one that we should roll, which is Hoarder. You've scavenged many useful things, and when you might have just the right thing, roll for it. Like maybe you'd found something that you didn't understand how it fit into this until now.
Oh, okay, that sounds cool. I really like the Hoarder move. That's why I picked it. So let's give that a shot. Let's see. Roll plus clever. That is a 7 on the dice plus 2 for a total of 9.
Very nice. So on a 7, so yes, you're looking around through what, your pockets, or you've got a pack with you.
Yeah, she's got a ratty old backpack.
Oh, on a 7-9, choose one. I think you're.
I'm pretty sure I'm going to go with something similar. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with something similar. I think and feel free to veto me if this doesn't make sense with what's already been established.
Yeah, I'm really interested in what you think you pull out here. So let me hear it.
Okay, I think she looks at the panel and her face kind of gives that sort of I'm really trying to remember something, scrunched up look, and she whips off that ratty old backpack that she's always carrying, and she starts rummaging through it. And she's moving stuff out, and you see just bits and pieces of all sorts of stuff. Random bits of what looks like she might have been stuff that washed up on shore, some things that might have she just found that she thought might be useful, like old pieces of metal, something that looks like it was a knife or something at one point, that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. And finally, she brings out this thing, and it looks like it looks like a calcified mushroom. It's a piece of what looks like it looks stony, but it's light. So it has a pattern etched into it, or that grew into it. Who knows? That looks exactly like one of those weird mushroom things that are growing out of that panel. And I think she holds it up and looks at it, and turns it around, and the head of the mushroom thing the calcified mushroom thing, she punches the similarly shaped and bespeckled mushroom on that mushroom looking thing on that panel, and
nice.
Sees what happens.
Yeah, so you've got something that maybe is providing some sort of a clue, but it's still like a total black box what this fungal technology could be, right? But clearly the button you've pressed is doing something, because you see little green lights sort of suddenly go pulsing up through the radio tower, and honestly, all of you audibly hear a strange noise emanating from the tower. Probably is a weirdly high-pitched noise, making your teeth rattle a little bit. But it's clear doing this has had some effect. And possibly doing enough of this would just overload this. Maybe you don't need to understand it to to screw around with it enough to get your own stuff working. Who knows? But Freya's done that. Kal was taking a look at the thing. Cori, you've developed a connection with some of these dinosaurs while you've been here. It seems. How can you tell that big fire breathing one is coming back?
I think how I can tell is something that Cori had noticed before. Maybe we even saw a panel of it. It's the bunch of smaller little bitty dinos, yay big dinos scattering across.
Yeah.
And some of the flying dinos. It's basically, they're getting the heck out of Dodge because
when
the
you
big
see
predator.
other dinosaurs running away, it's heralding this big one. Yeah. And so the jungle shakes, trees are shoved aside. This massive creature appears again, roars, and a flame leaps up, and it's not far from the radio tower. But Cori, how can you tell that a herd of triceratopses are coming charging to buy you some time?
Oh no! Don't put yourselves at risks. I think we hear, of course, the sound effects, right?
Yeah. So we turn the page and we get a full page spread. No, a double page spread of
Nice.
We see real small in the corner our heroes standing on the platform of the radio tower, and then we see this massive fire breathing Dragonosaurus essentially, and it's roaring, but it's being pushed back as the grown triceratopses are charging at it, driving their horns into its legs, and kind of at the at the back of this pack of triceratopses, there's that that one little triceratops that Cori. And so maybe there's inset panels of Cori with his friends and the little triceratops, with their triceratops parents, and so we get little zoom ins on each of those. But as this dino battle is unfolding, the grown-ups are trying to puzzle over this strange radio tower. Cori, what do you do?
Whoa, trying to fizz on the radio tower. Yeah. So, yeah, I think what I'm gonna do is tell a little story of no, guys, this is based off the Android system. God, it's so easy. This is really easy. Here, all this emoji speak is fine. I reach up and tap a couple of the things. We'll see if I'm right, but I'm telling a story of something baffling to adults. So I know that I mastered emoji speak, and that is what I'm trying to help out with.
This might be instruct when you guide another hero through a risky task that you know how to do, but they must do. Tell them a story and roll plus steady.
Yes, I love it. I'm also terrible at steady. This is the worst idea. Oh, good. This is good. I'm glad that I could bring us all to our doom. Here we go. Oh, I rolled a 9. -1 is an 8.
Not bad. Yeah.
9. Don't do it quite as well as I would have. Takes longer, opens up danger, opens you up. Open me up to danger. I wish to be opened up to danger because then I can go,
Okay, so you want it to be that doing this, it opens you up to danger.
Yep, that's what I choose.
Yeah, so Kal, Freya, as Cori explains this, things start to click into place, and you realize which mushrooms you have to hit, and the kind of green light seems to be surging up, and you think maybe you're actually going to be able to stop this this signal. And then but like while you've turned away, the Dino battle has been unfolding, and like an errant fireball from the Dragonosaurus comes crashing into the radio tower, and like the things you're standing on are like closer to like big fungal fronds than to metal platforms. So like the fireball just like melts something away, and Cori, you find yourself like dangling, like holding on by your fingertips, and you know what, the time is getting late, so it's time to do this. As the fireball smashes into the radio tower, Kal, you're knocked off your feet, and your like backpack rolls away. And so there's like in one direction Cori dangling off of the mushroom, and in another direction the backpack just like rolling towards the edge of the platform. What do you do?
I jump for the backpack. That's my future.
Trying to grab at that backpack. Absolutely. Cori, what do you do?
Oh, that's a terrible idea. What are you doing? No, talk to me. We have to go. Where'd he go?
Just hold on. Just hold on. I'll be right there.
Cori, are you invoking when you cry out to another hero for help?
Yes. They have to. They must answer your call. There's no mechanics for it. It just happens. So weird. Help!
I guess so. I'll put this question, Kal. This is a cry that you must answer. However, if you're trying to grab that backpack first, then I'm going to make you roll to just do it, right? Because you would easily be able to grab the backpack, but you're trying to snag it fast enough that you can get back to Cori. Does that sound right?
Yeah, because I want to help Cori. I got to scoop that backpack up real quick.
Mm-hmm.
You can't let that get away. All right, so just do it. Just do it is with steady. I rolled a 6. I have a -1 on steady. That is a 5.
Oh no. Well, I think we know that in your hesitation, right? As you're deciding, like, am I going to get the backpack or get Cori? Like you hold still for just a moment. You make a break for the backpack. Backpack rolls off the edge. You turn and you see the Cori's handhold crumble away, and you're losing both of them. Freya, what do you do?
I think Freya is leaping towards Cori, but I think she was closer to that panel because she was trying to work it with that weird, calcified mushroom thing. So it's she's a little bit farther away. Maybe that's why Kal got the Cori was calling to Kal since he was a little bit closer. So I think she's going to try and get to Cori and pull him back up so that we can get out of here.
Yeah, are you going to say take my hand?
I think so.
Yeah, roll plus whatever makes the most sense. What do you think you're relying on here to pull Cori out of danger?
I think it's got to be like steady. Like there's a whole lot of craziness going on. We got fireballs coming in from giant Tyrannosaurus, Dragonosaurus, whatever it is. We've got this place crumbling around us. We've tried to set off something to destroy the radio tower already. So we were already ready to destroy the thing. So we got to get out of here fast. And hopefully I can keep it together long enough to get that done. We'll see.
Roll with steady.
That is a 5.
However, you are helping Cori.
So it becomes a mixed result then, 7 and 9.
So you choose. You two are separated from the group, or you solve their problem but create one for yourself.
Ooh,
and I'll say if you choose you two are separated from the group, that means that Cori and Freya are going their own way, and Kal, Kal's, whatever the end of Kal's story is, it's not with them.
Oh gosh. Kal, I'll pose this to John. Do you kind of like the idea of Kal going off on his own, like as part of scrambling after that backpack?
Oh, I think Kal deserves everything that's coming to him.
Okay, I didn't want to because I'm perfectly happy putting Freya in danger because it makes sense for the survivor to basically be throwing themselves in front of things, but if you're cool with that, like I'll say that she manages to catch Cori, but they both sort of tumble off into the foliage below, out of the so they're out of the tower and can make their way off somewhere. But it leaves Kal kind of up in the air, or up, in this case, up in the radio tower, as the radio tower is burning.
Yeah, absolutely. Freya and
Rich,
Cori.
Rich, are you cool with that? Okay.
Yeah, I am.
Let's kind of move into montage mode and then hit our epilogues here. That's what I think is going to happen. So Kal, if we get like a couple panels montaging how Kal manages to make his way off the island, what would we see?
I think there's a panel that just shows like the island beach of like 2 weeks later or something, and then it's Kal emerging from the jungle, just torn, bloody, but clutching that backpack.
It cost him everything, but he found it.
And there's a small boat that he sees just glinting off the shore, and he pulls something to signal it.
Yeah, absolutely. Cori and Freya, when we see the two of you accompanied by a herd of helpful triceratops, where are they escorting you to escape from Dino Island?
Chris, did you want to? You're the one who's kind of the master of this domain.
Oh yeah. Oh well, I think it makes sense since the triceratopses are there to rescue Cori. I like the idea of basically us showing up where kind of you think Cori would want to show up, and then I can throw in some Freya details after that.
I think it's down by the docks where my parents are supposed to be, right?
Yeah, they're like, what happened? You all went off into the jungle, and we waited for weeks and weeks, and we never saw you. And you're like, what? We weren't in the jungle for more than a few days, right? And there's this this reunion, and everyone's like impressed that you have become allied with this whole herd of triceratops, and with the ability to signal to reach other folks by radio. Now they're able to call in, possibly even just another boat with supplies to fix your original boat. So everyone like a little boat from Optimax comes, and your main boat gets fixed up, and you're able to leave the island, bringing along Freya if she'll come with you. Let's go through our denouement here. Each of you gets to roll plus the number of stories you've told. Alya, let me ask you: do you want to kind of fold your letter into this, or do you want your letter to be its own thing before you make a roll? Because there's a never to return roll that you make if you were someone who was left dead on the island.
I'd like to also offer that maybe there is one last panel of Kal on the boat pulling the letter out and finally opening it. And maybe that's when we find out what it says.
Yeah.
I think wrapping all of that in together kind of makes sense.
Do you want to roll that first, or do you want us to have the survivors roll first and you roll at the end? All
Let's
right.
let's have everybody roll
Um,
first.
Cal, you want to roll plus the number of stories you've told as you roll for the safe at last move? I mean, let's see. I think that you can find this in the character keeper, but if not, I will read out how it goes because I have it printed in front of me. When you escape the island, roll plus the number of stories you've told over the course of your adventure. On a 10 plus, describe something good that happens to or because of you as a result of your time on the island. On a 7 through 9, describe something, an image or memory that you will carry with you from your time on the island. On a miss, describe something bad that happens to or because of you as a result of your time on the island.
Yeah, so I told 3 stories and I rolled an 8, so that was an 11.
Something good happens to Cal after all.
And this is good for Cal. Whether it's good for the world, well who knows?
Hmm.
We see scenes of Cal walking into the CEO's office of Optimax,
Yeah.
where they're just saying, "Well done, Cal. You exceeded our wildest expectations. We are very pleased with what you've done, and we are giving you a permanent team that you may oversee for further study of this island."
Yeah, you get a dazzling smile from Phoebe T. Buck, head honcho at Optimax. Yeah, definitely the reader feels mixed about those last panels. Cori, do you want to roll the safe at last move?
Yeah, I do, kind of. All right, I've squeaked out near the end a 3rd story. And I will roll.
Wow!
Wow!
So that's a 14
Wow.
altogether?
That's a 14.
So describe something good
Holy
that happens to or because of you as a result of your time on the island.
Oh yeah. So I think what we see is the panel starts off with Cori, and he's in some kind of school setting, and then we see him pick up a wand, and he kind of waves the wand a little bit, and there's this little magical, the Harry Potter, illusion thing, and it's a picture of Alya. He's writing a story about his hero, Alya, who put her friends over herself, and she was a real hero, and Cori learned about how to be brave from her.
And it sounds like due to his his kind of adventures on this island, he's managed to make his way back to magical school.
It appears so.
Back
to Edgewick Academy.
Yeah, we'll have to pick that up in a future Gauntlet comic series. Freya, as another person who has escaped at long last from the island, will you go ahead and roll plus the number of stories you told?
Okay, I told 2 stories, so let's see how this goes. That is a total of 5. A big 5.
Describe something bad that happens to or because of you as a result of your time on the island. I mean, that could even be something bad that happens to the island because you left it, right? Like if you're no longer maintaining the stuff you left, or I don't know, you decide. What do you think?
I think you see this. We see this panel of Freya returning to the old forester estate, and I think it because of her time on the island, like she had disappeared, her sister had disappeared, and unbeknownst to her, it hadn't been just like maybe 4 or 5 years like she was thinking. It's actually been like closer to 30 in the outside world,
right?
And so the estate was sold. And it has been taken over, and I think that it had been it's been rebuilt into something else. I think it's been rebuilt into an Optimax facility of some kind.
Of course it has.
And so as she's approaching like her ancestral home, she all of a sudden walks into this fence,
And yeah, you see
and
this,
it's the Optimax logo, and on the fence, and off in the distance you see like this array of like, you know, high-tech looking buildings, like it's some sort of, you know, it's some sort of high-tech facility, maybe a factory, maybe you know, experimental lab or something like that.
maybe where Dr. Kal Sharma is, you know, leading his new research team.
And I think she just sort of you see her like, you know, just sort of exhale this breath, and like and it's almost like she visibly deflates on the panel. And where she had been like walking in the previous panel, you know, like she'd been renewed a little bit, like there was a weight finally that had left her shoulders. I think you see, as we see her walk away, you see her just slumped. And she seems smaller and lesser than she did just a panel ago. And I think the last panel you see her just walk away, and you get this sort of like Bruce Banner at the end of or David Banner at the end of the old Hulk shows. You see her like
sad piano
walking away, sadly walking off into the distance. Then the final panel is you see her at a dock on the lake, looking at a boat.
Yeah, absolutely. Wondering, Alya. Well, let's give the last word to the one who heroically perished on the island. This is a slightly different move. It's called Never to Return. When you fail to escape the island, roll plus the number of stories you've told. On a 10+, choose one player to say a positive impact you had on the world. On a 7 through 9, choose one player to say what they'll remember about you. On a miss, tell the others why you deserved your fate.
All right, let's roll some dice. I've only rolled... Hey, I got an 11.
And you told one story.
And I told one story, puts it at 12.
You can choose a player to say a positive impact you had on the world.
I want to hear more about this story that Cori is writing.
Yeah.
So the story that Cori wrote was part of his application to get back into Hedgewig Academy. Yeah, so the story was about learning from your mistakes. It was about being brave and the value of friendship and keeping your word, all things that Cori had failed to do as a student at Hedgewig Academy that caused him to be expelled. And so that's the story that he tells. And of course, Kal wasn't very forthcoming on exactly, or Freya wasn't very forthcoming on exactly what happened to Alya, but so, you know, Cori kind of
embellishes some of the details.
Little massage some of the fine points, but the basic idea totally Alya
of that
giving up her life to
the good thing is that we got Cori back in school, got his life on track
where he'll be safe at this magic school full of crazy wizards.
Yeah.
Do you want to give us a hint of what was in that letter?
So I think we see the letter as Kal is walking out of the office. He pulls the letter out of his pocket and reads it again. You've probably read this like 30 times at this point. It's a 3-folded piece of paper. It has your name handwritten on the outside in Alya's handwriting. And you open it up, and it is a letter on Optimax letterhead that is typed out that says, Ms. Gabai, your charge is to bring back the notebook of Dr. Kal Sharma. It is more valuable without him. If you manage to remove him from the picture, you will be paid 3/4 of his salary annually. And at the bottom, it's signed by some, like maybe the vice CEO or something, like the vice president or something like that. And then at the bottom is just in Alya's handwriting, trust no one, get out while you can.
That's amazing. This has been Escape from Dino
Nice.
Island. Thank you all for playing. And anyone who's been watching or listening along, thanks for joining in. See ya in another comic series here in the Gauntlet Comics universe. Till then, stay safe out there. Bye-bye.